Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to Pills Fusion. Today we are gonna explore a crucial topic, blood pressure regulation. We will break it down step by step, how the body controls blood pressure, what goes wrong in the hypertension, and how medications fix those problems. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of the systems involved, the hormones and the drugs that help keep everything balanced. Let's dive right in. What is blood pressure and why is it important? Before we get into the details of regulation, let's start with the basics. Blood pressure is actually the force exerted by circulating blood on walls of the blood vessels. It's essential for pushing blood through your arteries, delivering oxygen and nutrients to tissues. Without enough pressure, your organs wouldn't get the blood supply they need. Too much pressure, however, can damage the vessels and organs, so maintaining the right balance is key. Blood pressure is measured in two numbers, systolic pressure and diastolic pressure. First, systolic pressure. This is the pressure when your heart beats and pumps blood. It's always higher in number. Diastolic pressure, the second one. This is pressure when your heart is at rest between beats and it's always lower in number. The key organs involved in blood pressure regulation. Several organs work together to control your blood pressure. These organs regulate the amount of blood and the size of the blood vessels and the strength of heart contractions. The brain, hypothalamus, and medulla oblongata. The brain monitors blood pressure and sends signals to either raise or lower it. The hypothalamus senses changes in blood volume or pressure, while the medulla oblongata directly controls heart rate and blood vessel diameter. The lungs. The lungs play an important role in converting certain enzymes, certain hormones that help regulate blood pressure, which we will cover in more detail soon. The liver. The liver produces angiotensinogen, a precursor hormone that's vital for increasing blood pressure when needed. The kidneys. The kidneys have two major roles. They filter blood and control fluid balance. They release renin, a key enzyme that starts a chain reaction to increase blood pressure when it gets too low. The kidney also reabsorb water and salt, both of which can raise blood pressure. The heart. Finally, the heart itself plays a role in regulating pressure. It releases atrial natriuretic peptide, a hormone that helps lower blood pressure by dilating blood vessels and promoting the excretion of salt and water. Hormones involved in blood pressure regulation. Now, let's talk about the hormones that these organs release to help regulate blood pressure. The hormones either increase or decrease blood pressure based on what the body needs. ADH, antidiuretic hormone, released by hypothalamus. ADH acts on the kidneys to increase water reabsorption. When more water is kept in the body, blood volume increases and so does blood pressure also. Renin Angiotensin aldosterone system RAAS. This is one of the most important systems in controlling blood pressure. The liver releases angiotensinogen which floats in bloodstream. When blood pressure drops, the kidneys release renin which converts angiotensinogen into angiotensin 1. And angiotensin 1 passes through the lungs, it's converted into angiotensinogen 2 by the enzyme ACE, angiotensin converting enzyme. Angiotensin 2 is a powerful vasoconstriction. It narrows blood vessels, increases blood pressure. Angiotensin 2 also stimulates the release of aldosterone from adrenal glands, which tells the kidneys to hold on to the sodium and water, further raising blood pressure. Atrial natriuretic peptide. In contrast, atrial natriuretic peptide released by heart when blood pressure is too high causes blood vessels to dilate and the kidneys to excrete more sodium and water, thus lowering blood pressure. How blood circulates and creates pressure. Blood flow in the body directly affects blood pressure. Here's a quick recap of how blood circulates. Deoxygenated blood from the body enters the right atrium of the heart, passes into the right ventricle, and is pumped into the lungs. In the lungs, blood picks up oxygen and releases carbon dioxide. The oxygenated blood returns to the heart's left atrium, moves into the left ventricle, and is then pumped into the body through the arteries. Blood pressure is highest in arteries when the heart contracts and lowest when the heart relaxes. These pressure changes drive blood through the circulatory system, keeping the oxygen flowing to tissues. Important terms: arterial BP, blood pressure in the arteries equals systemic vascular resistance and afterload. Venous BP, blood pressure in the veins equals preload or the amount of the blood returning to the heart. The baroreceptor reflex, how your body adjusts BP automatically. Our body constantly monitor blood pressure through baroreceptor. These are the pressure sensors located in the walls of arteries like aortic arch and carotid sinuses. Types of baroreceptors. There are two major types of baroreceptors. First one is cardiopulmonary baroreceptors, which are located on the aortic arch, myocardium, SA nodes, and AV nodes. Second one is vascular baroreceptor, which are located in vessels and arteries. How it works. In high blood pressure, when blood pressure is too high, the baroreceptors sense the increased pressure and send signals to brain to lower it. The brain activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which slows the heart rate and dilates blood vessels, reducing blood pressure. When blood pressure is lower, baroreceptors detect less stretch in the arteries and signals the brain to activate sympathetic nervous system, which raises heart rate and constricts blood vessels, increasing blood pressure. This feedback loop is known as baroreceptor reflex, and it's essential for keeping blood pressure stable during changes in posture, activity, or stress. Centers of the brain playing a role in baroreceptor reflex. There are three major centers of the brain: cardiovascular center, cardiac accelerator center, and cardiac inhibitory center. Basically, cardiovascular center is associated with autonomic control of cardiac or vascular function, control the diameter of blood vessels as well. Cardiac accelerator center, the second one, deals with increasing heart rate, contractility, and sympathetic actions. The third one, cardiac inhibitory center, works by exhibiting parasympathetic action and decreasing heart rate. Understanding hypertension when blood pressure stays too high. When blood pressure remains consistently high, it's called hypertension. This is dangerous because it puts extra strain on your heart and blood vessels, leading to the heart diseases, strokes, and other serious conditions. Primary hypertension. About 90% of hypertension cases fall into this category, where the exact cause isn't clear. However, lifestyle factors like stress, obesity, smoking, and high salt intake contribute to the problems. As arteries become more constricted or thickened, blood flow is restricted and the blood pressure increases. Secondary hypertension. This form of hypertension is caused by other medical conditions such as kidney diseases, thyroid disorders, or even certain medications. Mechanism of hypertension. Narrow blood vessels increase resistance to the blood flow. Increased sodium and water reabsorption raises blood volume. These two factors lead to the higher preload. Preload is the amount of the blood which fills the hearts, and afterload is the resistance of the heart which must overcome to pump blood. Understanding hypertension treatment when blood pressure stays too high. First category of the drugs is sympatholytics. inhibitors of sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system increases blood pressure by releasing norepinephrine, which binds to the adrenergic receptor on the heart and blood vessels, which further increases heart rate, contractility, and vasoconstriction. Sympatholytic drugs act by inhibiting these effects, leading to a reduction in blood pressure. First one is alpha 2 agonist. The drugs are clonidine and methyl-dopa. Mechanism of action. Alpha 2 agonists stimulate alpha 2 adrenergic receptors in central nervous system, particularly in brainstem, the brain center, which is vasomotor center. The receptors work on a negative feedback loop, meaning that when they are activated, they inhibit norepinephrine release from sympathetic neurons. As a result, sympathetic outflow from the brain to the heart and blood vessels decreases, which leads to decreased heart rate, bradycardia, vasodilation of peripheral blood vessels, reducing systemic vascular resistance, reduced cardiac output since the heart pumps less blood. Clinical uses of alpha 2 agonist. Alpha 2 agonists are often used for resistant hypertension in hypertensive emergencies. Methyl-dopa is preferred for treating pregnancy-related hypertension due to its safety profile. Beta blockers. The drugs are atenolol, metoprolol, and bisoprolol. Mechanism of action of beta blockers. Beta blockers block beta adrenergic receptors, specifically beta 1 receptors in the heart. These receptors normally respond to norepinephrine and epinephrine to increase heart rate and force of contraction. By blocking these receptors, beta blockers decrease heart rate, negative chronotropic effect, decrease myocardial contractility, negative ionotropic effect, which reduces the heart's output of blood. Beta blockers also reduce renin release from the kidneys, which leads to lower production of angiotensin II, contributing to vasodilation. Clinical use of beta blockers. Beta blockers are widely used for hypertension, especially in patients with other conditions like arrhythmias, angina, or heart failure. Alpha 1 blockers. Drugs are prazosin, doxazosin, terazosin. Mechanism of action of alpha 1 blockers. Alpha 1 blockers inhibit alpha 1 adrenergic receptors on vascular smooth muscles. Normally, these receptors cause vasoconstriction when activated by norepinephrine. By blocking these receptors, alpha 1 blockers prevent vasoconstriction, leading to vasodilation and reduced vascular resistance. This results in lower systemic vascular resistance, decreased afterload, which makes it easier for the heart to pump blood. Clinical use of alpha 1 blockers. Alpha 1 blockers are particularly effective in treating hypertension with benign prostatic hyperplasia, as they also relax the smooth muscles in prostate. Another category for hypertension is diuretics, which are also known as water pills. Diuretics help lower blood pressure by promoting the excretion of excess sodium and water, which reduces blood volume and pressure inside blood vessels. Thiazide diuretics. Drugs are hydrochlorothiazide, chlorothalidone. Mechanism of action of thiazide diuretics. Thiazide diuretics block the sodium-calcium symporter in the distal convoluted tubule of kidneys. This prevents the reabsorption of sodium and chloride, increasing their excretion in the urine. Water flows sodium, so more water is also excreted. As a result, there is decreased blood volume, which reduces preload, which is amount of blood returning to the heart, lower cardiac output, reducing blood pressure. Clinical uses of thiazides. Thiazides are commonly the first-line treatment for hypertension, especially in patients with heart failure or fluid retention. Loop diuretics. Drugs are furosemide, bumetanide. Mechanism of action of loop diuretics. Loop diuretics inhibit sodium, potassium, and calcium co-transporter in the thick ascending limb of loop of Henle. This leads to a large loss of sodium, chloride, potassium, and water in urine, reducing blood volume significantly. These diuretics are much more powerful than thiazides and can lead to a significant reduction in blood pressure. Clinical use of loop diuretics. Loop diuretics are used in patients with severe hypertension, congestive heart failure, or kidney diseases. Third category is RAAS inhibitors, renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system inhibitors. The RAAS system is major pathway for regulating blood pressure through vasoconstriction and water retention. ACE inhibitors. Drugs are lisinopril, enalapril. Mechanism of action of ACE inhibitors. ACE inhibitors block the angiotensin converting enzyme, preventing the conversion of angiotensin 1 to angiotensin 2. Angiotensin 2 normally causes vasoconstriction and stimulates the release of aldosterone, which increases sodium and water retention. By blocking angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors leads to vasodilation due to reduced angiotensin 2 levels, decreased aldosterone, reducing sodium and water retention, which lowers blood volume and blood pressure. Clinical use of ACE inhibitors. ACE inhibitors are highly effective for hypertension, particularly in patients with diabetes, kidney diseases, or heart failure. Angiotensin 2 receptor blockers, ARBs or ARBs. Drugs are losartan or valsartan. Mechanism of action of angiotensin 2 receptor blockers. Angiotensin 2 receptor blockers or ARBs block angiotensin 2 receptors, preventing angiotensin 2 from binding to its target receptors in blood vessels and adrenal glands. This leads to vasodilation as angiotensin 2 cannot cause vasoconstriction, decreased aldosterone, reducing sodium and water retention. Clinical use of angiotensin 2 receptor blockers. Angiotensin 2 receptor blockers are often used in patients who cannot tolerate angiotensin converting enzyme inhibitors due to side effects like dry cough caused by ACE inhibitors. Another category is vasodilators for hypertension. Vasodilators act directly on blood vessels to relax smooth muscles and reduce blood pressure by widening the arteries. Nitric oxide donors. Drugs are nitroglycerin, isosorbide dinitrate. Mechanism of action of nitric oxide donors. Nitric oxide is a natural vasodilator. These drugs release nitric oxide, which stimulates the production of cyclic GMP in vascular smooth muscles. Cyclic GMP causes smooth muscles relaxation, leading to vasodilation and reduced blood pressure. Calcium channel blockers. Drugs are amlodipine, verapamil, and diltiazem. Mechanism of action of calcium channel blockers. Calcium channel blockers inhibit voltage-gated calcium channels in smooth muscles of blood vessels and in heart. Calcium is essential for muscle contraction, so blocking its entry causes vascular smooth muscles to relax, leading to vasodilation. Calcium channel blockers also reduce heart rate and contractility, especially non-dihydropyridine calcium channel blockers like verapamil, lowering blood pressure. As for further enhancement, there are two types of calcium channel blockers: non-dihydropyridine calcium channel blockers and dihydropyridine calcium channel blockers. First one is non-dihydropyridine calcium channel blockers. It shows its inhibitory effect on SA node and AV nodes, slowing cardiac conduction and contractility, and drugs are verapamil and diltiazem. Dihydropyridine calcium channel blockers are located in muscle cells of heart and blood vessels. The drugs are nimodipine and nifedipine and amlodipine. Thank you for watching.